there, and welcome to Your Worth, Your Way, the podcast that's all about helping you understand that you are worthy of prioritizing your own joy without feeling guilty or selfish. I'm Debbie Lucas, the Joy Alchemist, and each week I'll be bringing you honest, heartfelt conversations with incredible guests, coaches, thought leaders, and soulful humans who'll share their stories and insights on self-worth, confidence, personal growth, and how to create a life that feels authentically yours. This isn't about cookie cutter advice or quick fixes. It's about real talk, practical takeaways, and plenty of soulful inspiration to help you live life your way. So grab your favorite cuppa and let's dive into today's episode. So today I am joined by the wonderful Cathy Nesbitt, a health and wellness advocate and founder of Cathy's Crawley Composters, Cathy's Sprouters, and Cathy's Laughter Club. Cathy is also a multi-award-winning visionary who inspires individuals to live a more joyful, sustainable life. And if that's not enough, Cathy is a certified laughter yoga teacher, appointed laughter ambassador in 2017 by Dr. Madan Kataria. And we'll be diving into how laughter changes everything, that when we laugh, it raises our vibration, and that laughter is the opposite of stress. So welcome, Cathy. It's lovely to have you on today's episode.
Debbie, I'm excited to be here, and I love that title, Joy Alchemist. That's beautiful. It just says it all.
Thank you. And my word for 2025 and my mission is to create and spread more joy. So that's kind of how that title evolved. So yep, and I'm loving that you're totally aligned with that and the work that you do as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about raising the vibration, however we get there.
Absolutely. So tell us what's lighting you up at the moment.
Oh, what's lighting? Well, laughter. Laughter is always raising my vibration. And as you said, it is the opposite of stress. As I said,
Yeah.
as you said in my words. And it's true because when we're stressed, we're in our sympathetic nervous system. We're secreting cortisol, adrenaline, the stress hormones. And yes, we need some stress to get up off our butts. Right now, we're living in this perpetual state of stress. And laughter just takes us out of that and just brings us to the present. And then we're secreting all the love drugs, all the happy chemicals.
I love it. And even just smiling, I know, you're not necessarily having to laugh, but even just smiling, I know like the actual facial muscles that move in your mouth triggers, in your face that actually trigger the secretion of those feel-good hormones as well. So, but laughter obviously takes it to that next level. So I'm sure we're going to laugh a lot in this episode, and I'd love to hear more about it. But first of all, tell us a little bit about your story and what led to the work that you're doing right now.
So it's the 23rd anniversary of my worm composting business, Cathy's Crawley Composters. 23 years selling worms by the pound for indoor composting. Like, who doesn't want worms in the house? It's okay, I've met most of them. It's fine. And in 2012, Debbie, people don't buy what they need, they buy what they want.
Yes.
And they totally didn't want what I was flogging.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, you need this. I wasn't paying attention. I just thought, this is so important, you need it. And that's my mission work. 2012, one more person said, ew, worms in the house. And I'd heard it hundreds of times in the previous 10 years. I wasn't listening. And that day, I felt it. I questioned everything. I definitely heard it. And I said, universe, what do you want from me? I don't know what to do now. And the very next day, I was introduced to laughter yoga. Laughter yoga was started by a medical doctor, Dr. Madan Kataria, in 1995, and his goal is world peace. And we need this more than ever. And I really believe that it was started in 95, so we could be ready in 2020 to jump online. It's a global movement. There are clubs in over 120 companies too, probably. And it's laughing. It's not doing yoga and laughing. It's laughing as an exercise. It's not jokes or comedy, because jokes are cultural. Two people going somewhere, not funny for those two, probably.
Yeah.
Right. So we're not laughing at the expense of somebody else. We're just laughing, and we're not against comedy or humor or jokes. It's just that that's conditional. When we hear a joke as an adult, it goes through a lot of filters like, is this funny? Oh, I've heard this before. That's not my humor. Um, what is it? What are the people I'm with going to think if I laugh at this joke? So all these filters, and then when we decide, oh, it is funny, and then we laugh, it's conditional. So it might be just a short laugh, or if we're watching a sitcom, if we're laughing too loud, too long, the people that we're with are going to get annoyed because they're going to miss the next line. And same at a comedy club. Even though they want laughter, they don't want you to laugh. They don't want you to do your laughter yoga. Yeah, so going to a laughter club, it's a safe environment where you just come, you laugh, and there's little games to inspire the laughter. For the people that are really serious, that are in their head, that are totally stressed, the little games, there's, little clapping games and little activities that we do, and that helps people get out of their head and into their body. Right? Like if we say, "Oh, just laugh." The laughter professionals can just laugh. We don't need stimulus. We're like, "Oh yeah, okay, ha ha ha." And we start giggling. But for the people that maybe it's your first time, whenever we do something new, it's new. So we need to create those neural pathways.
I love that. And it's, the bit that you were talking about there is like getting out of your head and into your body, and the filters, because the filters are the beliefs and the conditioning and the stories that we tell ourselves. And that's familial, cultural, societal, our own internal personal stories that we've created. And I love that that laughter yoga helps us to kind of really shift out of that in a very easy and natural and fun way. Because I firmly believe that you need to create fun and joy in your life, and the fact that you can just laugh on demand is amazing, and it's another way of bringing joy into our lives. So thank you for sharing that. And so it was really interesting when you were talking about in 2012, when you kind of had that moment of, oh gosh, what am I doing? Yeah, somebody kind of reacted to what you were saying, the worms in the house. And then the very next day, this opportunity was presented to you. And I was actually writing about this in some content I was creating earlier today around the fact that um, you need to be present to see the opportunities that the universe are presenting to you. So
Mhm.
you could have totally been stuck in that, or somebody's reacted really negatively to what I do, and not seen that opportunity of the laughter yoga as something that you could then take and embrace and share with the world.
Right? Oh, so beautiful. Well put. And I think before 2012, when people said "ooh, worms in the house," or said "ooh" about what I was saying, on a certain level, I took it personal.
Mhm.
On like not consciously, because that's ridiculous. It was some kind of level that I was like, oh, they don't like me, or they don't want what I'm flogging. And I know they didn't, but it was
Yeah.
important, so I was conflicted. And then laughter kind of gave me the permission to get over myself. I realized, oh, when someone says ew, worms in the house, or whatever you're selling, not for them right now, not now, maybe later. And yeah, so things still happen to me, but laughter is a practice.
Yeah.
So now I find that if something happens, I get news and I start getting stressed, I'm tensing up, I stop breathing fully. I'm like, oh, I notice. And I think that's the key, is being aware of our beautiful body. How do we feel? What about now? When somebody says something, how do we interpret that? And it just gives us tools. Like there's so many ways that we can get out of stress. Laughter might not be for everybody, but there's deep breathing, there's tapping, there's dancing, there's singing, going for a walk. There's all kinds of ways. And I think your podcast is really a wonderful vehicle for people to listen and learn some tips on, oh, that works. And what I say in my laughter club is, I might be presenting all kinds of material. Nothing for everybody. If it doesn't feel good for you, good, don't do it again. Do the next thing. If you like it, wow, do more of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, 100%. And it is about finding what works for you, because I've spoken before with other guests on this podcast around the shoulds. When I started on my personal and spiritual development journey, I was very much like, I should journal every day, I should meditate every day, I should go for a walk in nature every day, I should do all these things. And one of the things we were talking about, and I can't remember who the guest was now, but one thing that I learned way, way back, it was somebody posted on social media, and it was when you find yourself saying, I should be doing something, ask yourself, do I want to or do I need to? And if the answer is no to both of those, then there is no should. Because sometimes
Mm.
we need to do something, we need to do our chores, we need to, do the dishes and we need to do the laundry and all the things. But if we don't need to do that, if it's not necessary right now, then there's no should. And more important, if you don't want to, and this is the bit that a lot of people struggle with, it's about, what your inner desires are, um, then don't do it. And that's where setting boundaries and all the other things come into it. Um, but I'd like to come back to the bit, the you worms in the house. And you mentioned there that you did take it personally, and I know certainly that it's about realizing that that's about their situation and circumstances and their beliefs and their stories, not yours. So can you talk a bit more about how that mindset shift helped you to stop taking things personally more generally and deepen your self-worth?
Yeah, so back to stress. So when we're stressed, blood lymph oxygen leaves our frontal lobe so we can escape the imminent danger. Although we're not in danger like we used to be, we needed to know when we were gonna
Yeah,
die.
yeah.
It's a good idea. Now, if we lose our keys, it's a nuisance, or we miss the bus. Oh, how annoying.
Mhm.
It's not life-threatening.
Yeah.
It's not life-threatening, but our body acts as if. So the laughter, what has done for me is when we're laughing, ha 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 ha, we're exhaling.
Hmm.
So we have to take a nice deep breath in so we can continue exhaling. Again, back to our frontal lobe, when we're stressed, everything leaves our brain. So if you've ever lost your keys and you're flapping around, your brain is it's literally deprived of oxygen.
Yeah.
So it knows where your keys are, but cannot help you.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's happened is now with the laughter, when I feel I'm getting stressed, I'm tensing up, I laugh, ha ha ha, which opens up creativity, Debbie.
Hmm.
It opens up our brain so we can come up with better solution. When we're stressed, we're not breathing, our muscles are like atrophied, we're just like we're smaller. And I think that what the gift of the laughter has given me is just getting over myself and realizing again that that's not for them what I'm selling.
Yeah.
Nothing is for everybody. And all entrepreneurs, I would say, when we're passionate about what we're doing, on a certain level, we do take it personal when we're like, oh, this will be so good for you. And when people are like, oh, no, well, I
Yeah.
tried that before, it's not for me. Okay, right? It's not personal, just not now.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that, and taking that, it's not personal, just not now, but like even further, because I do a lot of work around manifestation as well, and taking aligned action. And one of the other powerful lessons I learned was, rejection is protection and redirection, and it's the universe's way of saying, or God's way or source, whatever you believe in, not right now or not yet, or there's something better for you. And I think
Mhm.
it's such a powerful reframe. But I love that bit that you said about just like it's about just tuning into yourself, getting into your body, because that, one of my previous guests as well does a lot of mind body alignment work, and how your body can create and exacerbate chronic illnesses and kind of like um life limiting illnesses and things like that, and how if you manage your mindset and that helps to physically manage your body. But the same way, if you can get into your body, it helps your mindset. So it's that constant loop and cycle. And it's so true, that the more you panic and the more you stress, like that, if you've lost your keys and you're running late for a meeting or something, it just gets worse and worse and worse. And you end up dropping things, and you end up, you
Mhm.
can't find other things. And it just becomes this whole catalogue of things that just, comedy of errors, I guess, if we want to bring humor into it. And so just stopping and just taking a breath. Because as you
Mm.
say, your mind, even your unconscious mind, somewhere will know where you put the keys, but you just can't remember because you're so stressed and like you literally, as you said, I love that you're just depriving your brain of oxygen so it can't function properly.
Yeah, it's really and it's a practice. You know, you think I'm in my 60s and it took me a long time to stop people pleasing, to like, what do I want? Not what the society wants for me, not what my parents want for me, not what anybody thinks that I should be doing. What do I want personally? And I think that when we look inside and we really tune into ourselves, that's where the magic happens because we do get messages. We do receive insight that doesn't come from anywhere else. It comes from within. Oh, it does. It comes from above, I guess, or
Yeah,
somewhere, but we're the antenna.
yeah,
Yeah, it's really something. Our society, we're not taught all of these self-healing tools. We're not taught to take care of ourselves, especially as women, don't rock the boat, don't make anyone look bad, just like be nice, all of those things. It's like, no, sometimes we need to use our voice and get mad.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it's about feeling all the emotions, all of the focus is on the positive and laughter and joy. It's also about giving yourself permission to feel all the other emotions as well, because we can't integrate that and we can't move through that unless we do feel it. Because for a long time I felt like I had suppressed anger, and I did a lot of work last year to really kind of move through that, through breath work, through somatic work. Um, and because if it gets stuck, as emotions are energy in motion, aren't they? And that,
Mm.
if that energy gets stuck in your body, that's when the tension in your shoulders, the pain in the back, all these kind of this ease, as they say in the kind of my world, disease, but it's actually uneasiness, it's discomfort, it's and that's because you're not allowing those emotions to move through you.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, how did laughter shift the way that you saw yourself, and especially when it came to finding your voice and staying aligned to your bigger why, which is your composting and your sustainable living?
It just really helped. I felt I've always taken good care of myself. The laughter is kind of another level. It's an electrical, chemical, biological process. That's it. So when people ask, oh, it's just laughter. No, there's incredible science behind laughter's the best medicine. It's 100% true. And it's complementary medicine. Nobody's OD'd, as far as I know, from laughing too much. It doesn't cause any side effects except just maybe the pains in your belly and your cheeks, but which is temporary. It's not like when you go to the gym and you for the first time and then you're
Yeah.
sore for a week.
Mhm.
You might just have those belly, aches at that
Yeah.
moment, and those are the laughter muscles. So I think the laughter, it's a connector. Like, have you ever noticed that when you smile at somebody, they smile back? Or
Mhm.
you see somebody crying, your heart feels sad too for that. Like, I don't know what's happening with them, but I feel it too.
Yeah.
There's a thing called mirror neurons. Have you heard of mirror neurons? So,
Not in that context, but I understand like the concept of just general mirroring and the vibrations that we give off and how it affects other people and it affects us.
yeah, so very few mammals have mirror neurons, humans, monkeys, and some birds. And it's just that when we see somebody smiling, we smile back. And that's just the reciprocal reaction in our body. So when we feel good, it emanates out and it helps other people to feel good as well. Yeah, the laughter has really it's changed everything for me. It just has allowed me to become more present. When we're laughing, we can only laugh full on when we feel safe,
Mhm.
right? Like imagine a group of cavemen laugh, yucking it up, ah, ha, 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 ha. And then yonk, along comes the saber-toothed tiger, right? Because when we're laughing, our knees get weak. So that's why, we can only laugh full on when we're safe. That's why the laughter club is a perfect environment.
Yeah.
We can get our giggle on. It's a cardiovascular workout. We're secreting all the love drugs. We're oxygenating our beautiful vessel. So it takes away pain. It helps us sleep better. It helps us get out of stress. There's a plethora of health benefits. And I think the number one reason to do laughter, I mean, other than the oxygen, I guess that's number one, is the connection.
Yeah.
When we're laughing, I recently heard, I don't know, I haven't really done a lot of research on this, but I recently heard that isolation is more detrimental to our health than smoking, obesity, and alcohol
Wow.
combined.
Wow.
And what happened in 2020? We got the world shut down.
Yeah.
Everyone in their little homes and
Mhm.
not able to see people dying. Can you
Yeah.
imagine like how harmful? I know a lot of people lost loved ones and they weren't able to go to the hospital to be with them. Folks with dementia and long-term care, they couldn't, they were now their family has to look at them through the window. Wow, like I think sometimes I try to recall that feeling that I had in 2020. And luckily I can't conjure it up. I really don't want
Yeah.
to because I
Yeah.
remember it was stressful. It
Yeah.
was really scary time. And I think that there's still a lot of people living in that incredible, and now we've got war. Not now, I mean, there's always war
Yeah.
going on, but
Yeah.
there's war, there's
Yeah.
famine, there's no jobs. You can't, everything's
Yeah.
out of control. And I think people will say to me, Cathy, how can I laugh? There's so many things going on.
Mm.
My response to that is we have to laugh. We're not laughing at the situation. We're laughing as a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
We're laughing because it's so stressful. So we laugh as a release. Like, why do people laugh when it's inappropriate
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
at a funeral or
Mm-hmm.
if somebody, trips and
Yeah.
falls?
Something
We're
to do.
not laughing at that. We're laughing as a relief, like, oh my gosh, maybe they're really hurt.
Mhm.
And so our body's like, oh, we're all stressed. So we burst out laughing because it's our body saying, ooh, you're too tight. You're going to blow up or something. So you need to release.
Yeah. So I was just writing down some notes there as you were talking, and there was two things. I was trying to remember. So that yeah, the first one that you were talking about the mirror neurons, and this the classic saying of you are. I can't, I'm paraphrasing now, but you are the sum total of the five people you surround yourself with the most, or
Yes.
show me your five best friends and I'll show you your future, or there's variations of that saying, and but like that, as you say, it's like, when you're walking into a serious and somber affair or a room where there's something serious going on, you can totally feel the vibe, can't you? You can feel
Oh,
that
yeah.
seriousness. But equally, if you walk into somewhere that's fun and upbeat and joyous, and you can hear people laughing and the chatter, instantly your mood lifts. And it's all about that vibration and that frequency. And as you say, it's the mirror neurons then that are picking up on that. And I love this. Again, it's been scientifically proven that your heart emits an electrical energy, and it
Mm.
emits this electrical field, and it can go up to 3 meters from your body, kind of in a big round orb shape around you. And I'll get goosebumps every time I talk about it, because I love that, because like even when I'm walking past people in the street or in the supermarket, I'm smiling with my heart, I'm smiling on my face, and I hope that makes them smile as well. But I kind of imagine this joyful vibration and current coming, emitting from me, and somehow just touching people and making their day a little bit better. They might not really realize it, but they might just have a slight kind of, oh, okay, suddenly I feel better. And I think that's the bit about, and we've got so much, sadness and then, as you said, war and famine and uncertainty in the world nowadays. And we're not, as you say, we're not laughing at that, but the more that we can continue to emit that joyful frequency, that happy
Mm.
frequency, that hopefully does kind of ripple out into the world. And if we can make one person feel better today, and they're not going home and, having an argument with their loved ones, or they're not going home and feeling, maybe they're feeling a little less lonely if they live on their own, and tomorrow they show up better, and tomorrow they smile at the next person, and that makes the next person feel better. That's all we can do. And I love the analogy. I don't know if you've heard this one about the boy saving the starfish on the beach.
Mm,
If you've heard
yes.
this one, yes. So he's walking, all the starfish are washed up, and he's walking along and he's picking one up and throwing it into the ocean. And an old man approaches him and says, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm saving the starfish. And he's like, yeah, but look at all these thousands of starfish on the beach. You could never save them all before the sun comes into the sky. And he's like, he picks another one up and he throws it back. He's like, but it made a difference to that one. And that's
Mm,
how I like to live my life. I think most of us, me and the guests on this podcast, vision and mission is to save the world, to make the world a better place. But we can only do that one person at a time, one listener at a time. So I'm very much of the view, even if one person listens to this podcast episode and that one person feels better and happier today, then our work here is done, because that person will then go on and spread that joy as well.
I love that. I kind of wanted to add, we are looking at raising the vibration, bringing the light, making it brighter. And one candle takes away the dark.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we can totally overcome the negative. I would say that positive is way more powerful than negative. So we just need to look at the bright side and look up and connect. And if you're feeling bad, this may sound counterintuitive, but if you're feeling sad, depressed, anxious, go and help somebody else.
Mhm.
Go and help somebody that's feeling worse than you and bring them up, because when you, as in the raising of somebody else, it also raises you up.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And thank you for adding to that, because that's exactly what it's about, isn't it?
Yeah, so beautiful.
Um, so of course there's so many other things I wanted to ask you. But if thinking about somebody who wants to try laughter yoga and but worries about being judged or feeling silly, what would you say to them?
So that's the key. When you have a good laughter leader, they say at the beginning, if you're new, allow yourself permission, like to get out of your head and into your body. Because that it's your ego saying, watch out, like your brain's job is to keep you safe and protect and conserve energy, which is why when we're at a family function and the sibling says something and then we're in that old pattern, that's what happens. So allow yourself permission to just get in your body. And I would say come and try it and with an open mind. Like don't go in saying, I'm not going to like this. Well, we'll stay home. Like don't go
Yeah.
because you won't if you make up your mind
Yeah.
already. But if you go with that child's mind, like I've never done this before, it's weird, it might be odd, come and try it. And so that's the beautiful part now with online platforms. You don't have to leave your house. You can go, say Zoom or whatever the platform they're using, and you have it on gallery view. I mean, if there's any number of people, they can't see you anyway. You're teeny tiny. So you don't have to worry about being judged. Like I have a free online club and I don't record my sessions.
Mhm.
So people are welcome to come, try it out. I have a lot of people that come back week after week. It's their weekly. I hope they laugh more than once a week, but yeah, so I would say just go and try it and you will be amazed. Just I would say also recall a time when you laughed your head off. It might have been childhood, hopefully not, but you
Mhm.
may have to go back a ways and just conjure up that time of being with your friends, laughing at nothing. Like maybe you're in class, maybe the teacher's yelling at you because you can't stop laughing because the more they're yelling, the more you're laughing.
I'm remembering a time like that, yeah.
And just remember how it makes you feel, because again, you're secreting all the love drugs. We're in charge of our own pharma. When
Hmm.
we change our mind, it is all about mindset. When we decide that we want to feel good, we need to take whatever action, whatever that looks like. It may be getting out in nature, going to a laughter club, singing. Just, I would say, get together with people because it is we are social creatures. And that voice in your head is not your friend. You would never have a friend like the voice in your head.
Oh yeah, and that's with you 24/7. You can never escape it. So you may as well befriend it and make it a kind voice rather than someone that's, a voice that's kind of down on you.
That's shaming you.
Yeah, yeah,
The should
definitely.
voice.
So, we've spoken a lot about laughter and joy and happiness, and it is a big focus of this podcast. But aside from laughter, which is obviously, I've even learned so much, even just from speaking to you today, than I knew before. But what is any other ways that you intentionally create joy in your everyday life? And what advice would you give to the listeners who are struggling to prioritize their own happiness?
Mm. I have a very strict morning routine.
Mhm.
I've put myself first, and I would recommend that everybody do that because we can only give from a full cup. If we're constantly depleting ourselves to please others, to do all the things on the list, we're going to get sick eventually. We're going to wear down, and sickness is coming because the universe will say it's time to rest. So I have a very strict morning routine. I get up, I have a giant glass of water akin to flushing the toilet. Like
Mm-hmm.
your all that sludge
Yeah.
is sitting in your body, so get it out. That's what I do first thing. And that knocks off one of my whatever 8 or 9 glasses, however
Mhm.
many we're supposed to have. That one is done already. Then I go outside, weather permitting. I'm in Canada. And I'm earthing. So I'm barefoot, connecting to the earth's energy. I'm an early riser, so it's first thing in the morning. First light, so first sun on your eyes resets your melatonin so that you sleep better at night. And then I have a very simple morning stretching routine. It's some energy work, some tapping, some gentle stretches, some gentle movement. It takes 5 or 10 minutes. That's it. Right? I'm connected to the earth. I'm outside, breathing, laughing. And then I have a laughter buddy. 7:30 in the morning. She calls
Mm.
me. Anybody can do this. I mean, we're
Mhm.
laughter professionals, but
Yeah.
anybody can have a laughter buddy. I don't answer hello when she calls me. I start laughing.
I love that.
Yes, like so.
So
T-
fun. I love that.
2 minutes of full-on belly laughter, 1 minute of deep diaphragmatic breathing, 2 minutes of addition. So it's a 5-minute practice. Anybody can do it. And what Dr. Kateria says is your laughter deepens your breathing, and your
Yeah.
breathing, or your like the silence,
Yeah.
and the silence deepens your laughter.
Oh, wow. Wow. That is beautiful. I love that, the laughter buddy and having that set time because it becomes a habit, and habits. I resisted habits for a long time because I kind of don't like feeling stuck in a routine.
Right.
But actually, when it becomes second nature and it just becomes a part of your day. So my morning affirmations I started doing when I get out of the shower, dry myself, and I wrap myself in my towel like a warm hug, and I sit and I say my affirmations to myself, and I keep adding to them. I'm going to be in the bathroom for hours, probably by the end of this year. But it's so part of my routine, and even if I'm in a hurry. I will always step out of the shower and do my affirmations, and it's how I start my day. And I can feel
Mm.
my shoulders drop even as I say it, and like whatever the affirmations are I'm saying, and it just like it sets me up for the day. And it's if I don't do it, I think my whole day's out of sorts. I've never not done it yet, so I don't know what it would feel like, but it just becomes part of the routine and a non-negotiable, I guess. And that's how we create those big shifts in our lives when we kind of have those non-negotiables, as you said, putting yourself first, starting your morning with you, because that's the foundation, isn't it, for your day?
It is, and I think what happens, Debbie, is when we feel good, self-care goes to the bottom of the list.
Aha.
Like there's no time to go to the gym today. Look at my list. I got all
Yeah.
these things. So I would say if going to the gym is important to you,
Mhm.
put it first.
Yes. Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for sharing your story and your insights, Kathy. One thing that really stood out for me, and there were so many, but one of the big things that stood out for me was just the absolute physical benefits of laughter. I
Mm.
knew laughing is being happy and spreading joy, but actual physical benefits for your body is amazing, and it's such a natural and easy thing to do.
I have rock hard abs from laughing. Just I
Oh,
don't
I
go to the
like that.
gym.
Great. Sign me up. Sign me up.
That's what someone said at a networking event. You got to put that first,
Yeah, that,
and you'll get everyone
absolutely.
signing
That
up.
will get people through the door. Um, so I am sure that my listeners want to find out more about you and what you do and the Laughter Club because I'm going to be there next week for sure. So where's the best place that people can find out about you and learn more about your work?
Thank you. So my laughter page is cathysclub.com, Cathy with a C. All the information for my Laughter Club is right at the top. You just sign in, it's free. Come and check it out. It's 4.5 years. I started June of 2020. Every
Wow.
Tuesday. That's a lot of Tuesdays.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of giggles.
Yeah.
And I also have a video series if people aren't available to come to the club, and it's called Fun Fab Friday, also on that same link.
Yeah.
And it's 109, I think we just launched 197 episodes. Again, that's a lot of Fridays.
Yeah.
And there's shorts for fun, a minute to 10 minutes are those videos, very short, and lots of tips for getting out of stress.
I love that. I love that so much. So I'll share all the links in the show notes for everybody so they can connect with you. And please go check Cathy out. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the Laughter Club soon as well. So
Thank
thank
you,
you,
Debbie.
Cathy. Thank you so much for sharing all your wisdom with us today. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Your Worth Your Way. I know that you'll be walking away smiling and feeling inspired and ready to embrace your worth and prioritize your joy, even if it's just a smile or a quick giggle. If you love this episode, I'd be so grateful if you could leave a review or share it with someone who needs a little bit of encouragement today. And don't forget to hit that follow button so you never miss another episode. And you can connect with me, find out more about the podcast, my guests, and what I do at debbielucas.me/links. And if you don't already, follow me on your favorite social media platform. I'd love to hear your thoughts and continue the conversation over there. And until next time, remember that you are worthy exactly as you are.